Hi, how are you doing? My name is Rohit and I'll be breaking down the 56th match of this year's IPL with Saudi Delhi Capitals taking on the Rajasthan Royals in the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi. And Delhi wins by 20 runs, joins the 12-point logjam. Man, this logjam is really just getting up there in points. Everybody's scoring points at the same time. And more importantly, Rajasthan loses a leg up in the playoff race because now, yes, they're probably most likely going to make the playoffs. They qualify with one more win, but there could be a chance that they are not a lock for the top two because after 11 games, they're at 16 points. There are multiple teams at 12 points with 11 games to go, with 11 games done with. And if those teams win out and RR only wins one of their next three, they could slip out of the top two. So this was important for a lot of reasons. And in terms of just staying within the playoff race, this match was more important for Delhi. And Delhi won. But in terms of overall seeding purposes, this is more important for Rajasthan because with a win, they not only become the first team to qualify, they very much likely lock up a top two spot. Because once they win, and then after another one, they already outclass everybody who's already currently at 12 points because the only maximum they can get up to is 18. Rajasthan with two more wins already gets up to 20. So that losing that leg up is huge here, and is also the fact that Rajasthan have now lost two on the bounce. Are they slipping up the wrong time? Who knows? And honestly, a lot of things went wrong for them immediately just at the toss itself. This year in Delhi, no team has won chasing. Every team has batted first, put up a massive total in excess of 200, and they've defended it successfully. I don't understand the logic behind Rajasthan choosing to chase, especially in a ground that no team has won chasing this year, and every team has scored not only in excess of 200, but in excess of 220. Delhi's 221 today was the lowest first inning total at Delhi this year. So that should kind of give you an idea of how things were going to go. I don't really think the pitch changed much from the first innings to the second innings, so in that respect, you could say, well, if the pitch didn't change much, then what's the real difference between batting first and batting second? Well, batting first, you have the first look at the pitch for a longer period of time beyond just the toss. So you know where to bowl, where not to bowl, what bowlers are doing well for the opponents, and what bowlers you have who can perform the same type of, effect. And Delhi realized that Ravichandran Ashwin for the Rajasthan bowled very well, good lines, good lengths, returned a 4-over figure of 3 wickets for 24 runs, incredibly economical, and even more impressive considering the fact that if you take away Ashwin's only 24 runs conceded in 4 overs, that means in the other 16, Delhi effectively scored 200. And so Delhi realized, okay, we can do that. We have Kuldeep Yadav, who is also a spinner, a different kind of spinner, but someone who's also intelligent and knows how to get the most out of a pitch that has something to offer. Kuldeep Yadav returns figures of 2 for 25 in 4 overs, including some important overs at the death, and that also got him the Player of the Match award for this one. But in terms of just how the match went, that was just something. I don't know how to explain it, but Delhi has found a formula, and it's working for them. Their entire formula now revolves around Jake Frazier McGurk, giving them a strong, aggressive start in the power play. And he did that today. 50 runs off of just 20 balls, and it's led people to ask, why was he not in Australia's 15-man squad for the World T20? The answer is simple. Despite all of his aggression and his incredible ability to hit boundaries seemingly at will, of the 20 balls he faced, 10 hit the fence or went over. 7 fours, 3 sixes. However, he also had played many dot balls. He only scored 4 runs off of balls that were not boundary shots. And so here's what that tells me. Either he's not really seeing the ball well, or he's just reliant on boundaries. And I think it's more of the former. I just don't think Frazier McGurk sees the ball too well at times, because when you go back and watch the game, a lot of the dot balls that Frazier McGurk plays are him playing and missing. They're not really, your typical defensive shots or him hitting the ball but finding a fielder within the 30-yard circle. No. he's swinging and missing. And so that tells me, okay, if the only thing this guy knows is to be aggressive, how can you trust him in a situation where you're multiple wickets down in the power play and Fraser McGurk as an opener is still there? How can you trust him to rely on him to really build an innings? But Abhishek Patel at the other end also scored a half century for Delhi. And so that opening partnership is still being very good for Delhi. Patel also managed to carry on beyond the power play and was a very consistent figure throughout this entire innings for Delhi, 65 from 36, playing proper cricketing shots, rotating the strike well. But then things kind of go off the rails for Delhi. A lot of their middle order did not necessarily fire well. Shai Hope had a very unfortunate incident where the ball hits the bowler's hands, ricochets into his stumps. Shai Hope is short of his ground and is dismissed. That is just unfortunate. And you can't really hold that against Shai Hope. But the other players did not really get going. Some people contributed here and there, but it wasn't too much. Tristan Stubbs does what he does at the back end. Important runs, 41 from just 20. And that sort of back end surge that Stubbs always provides, that was basically the difference. Because keep in mind, Delhi won by 20 runs. But now for Rajasthan, it was just a Sanju Samson show, and he honestly just did not get enough support around him. Yashasvi Jaiswal and Joss Butler, neither of whom really got going. Jaiswal hits the first ball for 4 and then gets out immediately the next ball. Butler's stay at the crease looked very troubled from the start. And Samson kicked on, and he carried on, and it looked like he was going to be the one to single-handedly take Rajasthan to victory here. But he gets caught out the boundary line, and that itself was a controversial dismissal. People believed that Shai Hope, the fielder at the boundary, had his foot touch the boundary cushions, and in that case, the ball should have been 6. Instead, that ball was given out, and things started unraveling for Rajasthan from there. Shubham Dubey is the other performance of note for the Rajasthan batting, and 25 from 12, but Rajasthan needed more of that. They just did not get enough of it. And it goes to show that when your top order has been as dominant as it has been for this entire season, because for Rajasthan, it's been their openers, Samson at 3, Riyan Parag at 4. It's been those 4 doing the vast majority of the scoring. All the other middle order batters and lower order batters are only there if they have to be, and they're not really getting too much time at the crease, and that costs them. They don't have the playing time or experience really needed in match situations to carry on when the team needs them. And potentially that could lead to problems for Rajasthan down the line. That's what happened against SRH, where they lost by 1 run, and it happened again today. When you're too reliant on that top order, on 3 or 4 batters to start the innings, you tend to find yourself in holes. And Rajasthan, these last 2 games have showed that they're not getting out of those holes. Do I think they're capable of doing so? Yeah. They have players like Robin Powell and Shimron Hebmeyer when he's healthy. He was not healthy for this match. But they have those players. They have the ability to hit at the back end. But do they have the ability to either stabilize or accelerate and play according to the match situation? That's what we do not know, because we have not seen them perform in that sort of situation. 1, because they haven't really had to, and 2, again, it's just they haven't really had to, and I'm not sure if they can at this point, because there's very little time left in the tournament. Only 3 games left, and obviously losing wickets is never ideal, but that's something that maybe Rajasthan would want to work on in the nets. Just go through match situations with the middle order and the lower middle order. Get those things shored up before the playoffs start. Honestly, it's much better to have these jitters now, get these issues out the way now, because once you're in the playoffs, you make those mistakes there, you're done. There's no coming back from it. But this is the group stage. You can still come back from this. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back for the next one. Have a good one.